Behind me, 2022 Harley Davidson Pan America Special Blue, the fast color. What's the problem with them? Okay, we'll talk about the problem. 21 to 23 Harley Davidson Pan Americas. I have the special. I'm assuming it's going to be this way with the non-special. It's a known issue that their charging system really is not up to par. 24, they came out with, they put a bigger battery in there, they put a bigger stator in there, probably a bigger rectifier in there. That whole kit to retrofit your old bike, I think I'm hearing like is around $3,000. I don't know if that's with insulation or not. So keeping an eye on the electrical system is kind of important. Just as my factory warranty was going to end, for the first time ever, my bike stalled. I was sitting in the driveway, probably playing with heated gear, doing something. The bike was running for a long time, made a mechanical noise, and then stopped. I did some research and found out the mechanical noise is something in the variable valve timing, whatever the valve thing is that we don't have to adjust, that needs constant voltage or it gets a little wonky. A few times throughout the season, the bike in heavy traffic, stop and go, watch the volts drop. Once it gets below 12, the bike gets a little bit loud and it kind of shuts off. Starts every time after, but it just dies. So doing some snooping around, I'm changing my battery. I don't know if this is a motorcycle battery thing, maybe just because we're dealing with the smaller size. This Harley Davidson battery that was in the Pan America is only guaranteed for 2 years. That's kind of crazy. I know in cars, I thought if I couldn't get 5 years out of a battery, there was something wrong. Check the date. From my understanding, like this battery, none of the dates are checked, so I guess they got to be sneaky. This says B22. That means February. January's A, February's B, and the year is 22. So dying in March of 24, I guess, is right on par for Harley Davidson and their batteries. I'm not going to get into the whole debate as far as lithium and all that. I mean, it's later. They say it lasts longer. There's all kind of benefits. It's not proven. I want a reliable bike, so I went with an AGM. But I ditched Harley. We're going to try Drag Specialties battery. It has more cold cranking amps, 240 versus the 220, I think it is, 225 of the Harley. And the amps per hour is 16, where this is 12. You know how many amps it'll draw over an hour before it dies. So it has a little bit more amps in it. Still the same 12 volt. Got it delivered. Dealers were saying it would take about a week. Revzilla had it to me overnight. Only concern I have is this little terminal guy right here looks a little wonky. So I'm going to have to try to straighten that out before I put it in the bike. So I'm going to do that. Here's something interesting I learned today. Look at the Harley battery, how it comes all the way to the end of the plastic versus the other battery, how there's a little piece. Apparently that is a patent pending Harley thing. That's why these other batteries will come with a spacer to take you all the way to the end for a proper fit. The battery on the Pan America is behind this skid plate. This is the factory short one. There's a couple long ones and all. 4 bolts hold this on, 1 on each side of these and then 2 underneath there. Pull those off. Okay, skid plate is off. Once I pull the 4 bolts out of the bottom of the skid plate, we have these 2 in the front. I kind of just loosen them, let it pivot down, and so it doesn't drop out. If you do your own oil changes, you have to do that because you need to get to the oil filter that way. Alright, so let's look at what I see here. Okay, so this is it. And I popped in here, and the first thing I noticed is that this wasn't even attached to on top of the battery. So I'm going to look at that. Terminals might be a little dirty. I'll clean those up, whatever. To get to the battery back here, you have to take off this bracket that holds the voltage regulator on. So I'm guessing I'll have to pull off these cables here. At least one of them. One of them's probably from the starter. to get to the battery. So I am going to start taking some things apart and getting to this battery. Okay, we are taking the bracket off. To get the bracket off, there's a screw hole, there's a bolt right here and a bolt right here from behind where my fingers are. After that, you have to take that off, as well as this is the starter cable. I had this crazy rubber thing over top of it. Had to pry that off. Just a normal 10mm bolt. And it looks like that's it. So to pull it out, you can see that there's actually like a cable place to lay the 10mm bolt. And it looks like this just swings wide. So that may just be the battery. We'll have to see what else is holding this in. Alright, let's try it. This is always fun. I pulled the battery out of the tray, and at the bottom of the tray I found this little bolt just sitting there. Wonder what that bolt's for. Can you identify it? I'm afraid to know where it's at. Alright, moving on. Alright, so the new battery is in down here, as if you could tell. I hope you could tell. It's clean. This little part here was a pain in the butt to get that snap back in. The whole mounting bracket for the regulator. Just this guy. There's a little snap hook behind it, and I don't know, it worked. So, got the starter back in, put a little dielectric grease in it. I'm going to finish up with the battery terminals. I do have one of these guys I'm going to add. Just for if I ever need to jump start it. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get to. And the Pan America, it has the plug for battery tender, but as soon as the ignition turns on, that does not work. Isn't that crazy? Like, you can't use that anymore. Alright, I'm gonna get moving. Okay, so the groundwork is done. Everything is buttoned back up. Snug as a bug as a rug. New battery, and I also added this little pigtail right here in case I ever have to jump it. Again, I don't know why that wouldn't work for jump it. Maybe get a jump box from Christmas? Santa Claus? I don't know. Next step is going to be to ride it and see how it does. Hopefully it does better. Fingers crossed.
Alright, so I am leaving my dad's house. It was about a 55 to 60 mile ride today. The bike did really good traveling through downtown Newark, Delaware. It is a college town. That means tons of crosswalks, red lights, a lot of action. Driving through downtown, the bike did pretty good. Voltage did drop to generally about 12.3 12.5 when I was at stops, so that is better than I was seeing prior to. It did not drop below 11.9 at any given time, and when it dropped, I did not hear that timing issue kick in. I don't know if it's the valve or something with the cam sensor. I'm not sure what that is, but that does make noise when there is not enough volume coming, power coming from the charging system. Now it could be that the charging system is not as stressed now with the little bit stronger battery, so only time will tell on that. But I was running today with my normal setup. GPS phone was plugged in, had the heated grips on for a little while, and I did pretty good with the voltage. I'm happy. I hope this is the game changer I was looking for. I feel much more confident that the Pan America is going to make it when I need it to. I still think I am going to invest in one of those little like NoCo or maybe even a Harley battery booster. I installed that little SAE connector. It looks like it's a little bit bulkier though. The wire's heavier. It has a 15 amp fuse in there, so that should be plenty for me to jump the bike. with one of those directly to the battery, just because when the Pan America is off is the only time the whole little SAE works that's in the harness. A lot of information, may be useful, may not. Battery's a success. I'm going to be riding it all through the winter. You can watch other videos to see what I say about it. If I'm not talking about it, that means it's working good, right? Look, I'm stopped 12.5, 12.6. Feeling pretty good. So this is Jerry, MinnowMoto. I'm gonna make my way home, you guys. Thank you for watching. Good luck with your Pan America, and if you're having battery issues, feel free to share your woes with me. What you changed, what you intend to do. For me, I am not going to spend $3,000 to update the charging system. Harley Davidson, that is ridiculous. This bike is only 2.5 years old. So that is what I got. Everyone, thank you for watching. Have fun. Make sure you leave a little like button if you like what I'm doing. You can always hit that subscribe down below. I have tons of affiliate links for some of the gear that I'm using. Want to know about my camera? Want to know what 360 I'm using? Check those links out. If you do decide to buy something going through one of my affiliate links, I will get a small kickback, and I do mean small, so I appreciate that. And if you like my riding gear, right now I am wearing the Beyond Riders winter shell. Has me sealed in nice and tight in this little package here. Just rocking the fleece and feeling pretty good. Alright, MinnowMoto is out. Should I say something like peace? That would be dumb, huh? Alright, I'm just gonna keep talking and play this video. I'm hoping it doesn't go too long.